Hello everybody, get in here. Tap the screen, tap the screen. We're gonna get into some things with this Trump and Elon. Tap the screen, tap the screen. Hello everyone, hello everyone. Tap the screen, tap the screen. Tap the screen, tap the screen. Tap the screen, tap the screen. We're getting ready to talk about Trump and Elon. With that being said, let's get into it. And shout out to Lovely T for this. Whenever.
Okay, can y'all hear me? I'm not coming on camera. My phone is literally blowing up. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Y'all should see my logo on the screen. My little honey girl. I want to make sure y'all can hear me. Okay. Teacups. Okay, perfect. All right. Because I'm like, dang, I want to talk about this, but child, I've been editing all day, so I don't feel like jumping on camera. I just finished my DDG update video. So I'm like, but my phone is literally blowing up like every 5 seconds. So I've just been on Twitter watching all of this stuff play out. So I'm like, let me go ahead and go live so we can talk about this. We've known this was going to happen. The girls are fighting.
They are.
Called this out from day one. You cannot have two egotistical, narcissistic billionaires in the same space.
Perfect match made in hell.
Yeah, somebody said this is baddies. Yes, Lexi sent a super chat said this is baddies, White House edition. It really is. You could tell there has been fallout behind the scenes.
Yep.
There's a lot of Trump's cabinet members.
A whole bunch of them.
People felt like Elon was the president. Hell, he had his little brat running around there, picking his nose and, talking shit to the president. It was only a matter of time, okay? So,
be right back, y'all. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
I'm not shocked by any of this foolishness. I'm just not. And I'm glad that, they're finally going at it. And it's being done publicly. Somebody said my volume is low. You might want to refresh because I'm literally right by the microphone.
Tap the screen, tap the screen.
So everybody should be able to hear me. If you can, refresh, go back in. But so I wanted to kind of bring to y'all how it all went down.
Tap the screen, tap the screen.
For the past 48 hours, I knew it was going to be more to it, especially when he dropped the so-called big beautiful bill, and Elon had been kind of throwing shade at it on Twitter. And I'm like, yeah, that fallout is going to be coming very, very soon. So let's go ahead and watch what kind of happened yesterday when they first talked about it. Elon wanted Congress to kill Trump's bill. This is where a lot of this stuff is stemming from. So give me just a second. Okay, everybody can hear me fine? Okay. I'll try and come a little bit closer, but the volume, make sure. Yeah, it's all the way up. Okay. It should be all the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. Alright, let me go ahead here and pull up this video. We're going to watch this CBS video. Give me just a second here.
As the Senate forges ahead on President...
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen, please. Tap the screen, tap the screen.
Up his criticism, calling to, quote, kill the bill. Musk says a new spending bill should be drafted that doesn't massively grow the deficit and increase the debt ceiling. Speaker Mike Johnson says we simply don't have time to start over. So let's bring in CBS News White House reporter Aaron Navarro to walk us through what we're hearing from Elon Musk and also the reaction now from the White House.
Elon Musk looked to put political pressure yesterday and today in criticizing this budget bill that's been a priority of President Trump's. Elon Musk put on his website X, quote, call your senator, call your congressman, bankrupting America is not okay, kill the bill, end quote. And this only adds more political fire to those Republican detractors in the Senate who say that the president's quote, one big beautiful budget bill increases spending too much, which the White House is trying to tamp down. They can only lose 3 senators in this vote, and you're going to see
the bill ain't nothing but a tax break for the rich folk.
visit the White House today.
And that's all the bill is.
To essentially get their chamber in order and back this bill that the president has put a lot of political
It's very interesting that Elon is saying bankrupting America is not okay, kill the bill. But he didn't have the same sympathy when he was on stage acting like the Texas Chainsaw Fucking Massacre and slashing other people's jobs and bankrupting other people's families. You know what I'm saying? So it's very interesting that now that the leopard is eating his face, now it's not okay to bankrupt America. Interesting.
No capital behind.
Aaron, also today, President Trump says he talked on the phone with Russian President Putin for over an hour. What came out of that call?
Yeah, some of the top lines were that President Trump said that Putin said, quote, very strongly that Russia would have to respond to those drone attacks from Ukraine over the weekend, where they essentially smuggled in drones through semi-trucks that impacted and damaged Russian aircrafts and bombers. Trump added about his call with Putin, quote, it was a good conversation, but not a conversation that will lead to immediate peace. Now, this post also comes days after there were talks between Russian and Ukrainian officials in Istanbul. Those did not result in much beyond an initial agreement to exchange prisoners. And just a couple minutes ago, we heard from Ukrainian President Zelensky, who said in response, referencing this announcement from President Trump, quote, many have spoken with Russia at various levels, but none of these talks have brought a reliable peace.
All right, Aaron Navarro. Aaron, thank you.
Okay. So let me go ahead and pull up this other video. This was Elon doubling down, okay? So he doubled down on the big, beautiful bill, wanting it canceled.
Elon Musk is stepping up his attacks, calling on his supporters to help kill the bill, projected to add more than $2 trillion to the national debt. Senior political correspondent Rachel Scott at the White House. Good morning, Rachel.
Hey, George, good morning to you. And Elon
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen, please. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
Is pushing senators to get behind it. This morning, a growing rift between the president and Elon Musk, the architect behind the massive shakeups that marked Trump's first 100 days. The billionaire who spent more than $270 million of his own money to help get the president and other Republicans elected called Trump's signature budget bill a disgusting abomination. Musk now ramping up the pressure, writing, call your senator, call your congressman, bankrupting America is not okay, kill the bill. Musk warning about the level of spending in the bill, which the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimates will add $2.4 trillion to the national debt. Sources tell us he also expressed frustration that the bill cuts the electric vehicle tax credit, which benefits owners of electric vehicles, including Tesla, and that he personally pushed...
There we go. We're down to the meat and potatoes. This is why he cares. It affects his own bottom line. It affects Tesla. The leopards are munching on his face.
Senior law...
Here's something I don't get. Why would anybody pay for that butt ugly Cybertruck? That thing is ugly as hell.
Lawmakers, including Speaker Mike Johnson, to keep it in. Johnson telling reporters the president was not pleased by those comments from Musk.
As you know, he's not delighted that Elon did a 180 on that. But look, I don't know what happened in 24 hours. Everybody can draw their own conclusions about that.
Other Republicans pushing back.
He's one man. He's not my constituent. He's not even a daughter that I know of. So, he's one guy.
Give us some productive feedback that we can operate on. I can't operate on platitudes, or I can't respond.
The president meeting with key senators at the White House, urging them to pass the package, which extends the 2017 Trump-era tax cuts, sets aside nearly $50 billion to resume construction on the border wall, and pushes work requirements for Medicaid. By some estimates, the changes to Medicaid would force 11 million Americans to lose their health insurance over 10 years. Jesus Acosta is his mom's full-time caretaker after she was hit by a car. He worries she would be one of those millions of Americans.
She relies on Medicaid for her medication, for her doctor visits, pain management, and if Medicaid gets cut, then that would be an expense that's coming out of my pocket. And
well, I hope he wasn't one of those Latinos for Trump. I never vote, hey, for that no Trump. I'm just saying.
and I would have to be forced to work more hours. And so
Tap the screen, tap the
I
screen.
care for my mom.
Tap the screen, tap the screen.
So Musk is also calling on Republicans to rip up the bill, but senators I've spoken to say they do not have time to start all over, especially because the president wants this bill on his desk by July 4th. As for now, President Trump, we still have not heard from him directly on these comments by Elon Musk. Rebecca?
All right, Rachel, thank you.
All right,
Elon Musk is
so
stepping up
now,
his attack.
so then after that, Donald Trump just got to throwing shade, honey. He had an interview today, and Elon Musk, his name was brought up, and he was not here for it. So this is what really caused the catalyst. Okay, this was about maybe 4 or 5 hours when this came out, and then at that point, Elon just went off. So we're gonna watch this.
And your big, beautiful bill. What's your reaction to that? Do you think it in any way hurts passage in the Senate, which of course what is you're seeking?
Well, look, you know, I've always liked Elon, and that's why I was very surprised that you saw the words he had for me, the words, and he hasn't said anything about me that's bad. I'd rather have him criticize me than the bill, because the bill is incredible. It's the biggest cut in the history of our country. We've never cut. It's about 1.6 trillion in cuts. It's the biggest tax cut. You would say, people's taxes will go way down, but it's the biggest tax cut in history. It's we are doing things in that bill that are unbelievable. And when you look at what we're doing for small businesses, for people, for middle-income people, all of the things that we're doing, nobody's ever seen anything like it. And you know, Elon's upset because we took the EV mandate, and you know, which was a lot of money for electric vehicles, and more top electric vehicles, and they want us to pay billions of dollars in subsidy. And you know, Elon knew this from the beginning. He knew it for a long time ago. That's been I would say, JD, that hasn't changed. That's been right from the beginning. Mr. Secretary, that hasn't changed at all, right from the beginning. But I know that it disturbed him. He wanted, and rightfully, you know, he recommended somebody from, that he, I guess, knew very well. I'm sure he respected him, but to run NASA, and I didn't think it was appropriate. And he happened to be a Democrat, like totally Democrat. And I said, you know, look, we won. We get certain privileges, and one of the privileges we don't have to appoint a Democrat. NASA is very important. We have great people. General Kane is going to be picking somebody with we'll be checking him out, seeing, but he wanted that person, a certain person, and we said no. And yeah, I can understand why he's upset. Remember, he was here for a long time. You saw a man who was very happy when he stood behind the Oval desk, and even with the black eye, I said, do you want a little makeup? We'll get you a little makeup. But he said, no, I don't think so, which is interesting and very nice. He wants to be who he is.
Okay, but Shane, when did Elon have a black eye, and who punched him? I don't remember that. You see how you just slipped that in there? Interesting.
So you could make that statement too, I guess. Look, Elon and I had a great
Tap the screen,
relationship.
tap the screen.
I don't know him well anymore. I was surprised because you were here. Everybody in this room practically was here as we had a wonderful send-off. He said wonderful things.
Well, I don't get why people are surprised that these two fell out. It's no surprise. Hello everyone, hello everyone. Tap the screen, tap the screen.
I mean, couldn't have nicer, said the best thing. He's worn the hat. Trump was right about everything. And I am right about the great, big, beautiful bill. We'll go to great,
Which is a tax break for the rich.
And again, biggest tax cuts in history, biggest...
Tap the screen, tap the screen. Welcome, welcome everyone, welcome, welcome.
Business is spurred, and I don't know if you've seen the numbers, but the numbers came out, even the CBO, which is run by Democrats, said that we're going to be doing, you know, I'd like you to discuss it, the 2.8 trillion, that the CBO, this is a group of people that are Democrats. They're very hostile to us. They just came out with phenomenal numbers, what it does. You want to mention that, sir?
Yes, sir. So what we've seen is we keep hearing from the CBO that there's going to be a large deficit from the bill, which we disagree with, but using the CBO scoring, they came out and scored the tariff revenue. We think it'll be the minimum of $2.8 trillion over the 10-year window, which actually puts the bill in surplus if you include the tariff revenue, which they won't do.
It gives you a tremendous surplus, but we're not allowed to use that. For some reason, they say scoring. Nobody knows what scoring means. Maybe a couple of people, but nobody. Somebody sits in the background. They say, well, we're not going to allow that. They're not allowing other things that we have that are tremendously profitable for our country. But if you saw the other day, CNBC, they came out with numbers, and the people on the show, very good people, I've watched them for a long time, they couldn't believe the numbers, how good they are. The numbers were incredible. That was personal income and also very low inflation. We have very low inflation. We're down to 2% now, and maybe even lower than that. And when I took it
Tap
over,
the screen, tap the screen.
we had the worst
Tap the
inflation
screen,
probably
tap
in
the
the history
screen.
of our country. They say 48 years, but let's say I think it's worse than that. So we had the worst inflation in the history of our country under the Biden administration. Now we're down to a beautiful number, 2%. We'd actually like to keep it.
Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the gifts.
It's going down maybe to 1.
Tap the screen, tap the screen. Tap the screen, tap the screen. Thank you, thank you.
That nobody is very interested.
Okay, at this point he's rambling, child. Anyways.
Yeah.
So, you know,
He is
this
rambling.
whole big beautiful bill thing to me is just it's nonsense.
Waste of time.
But it is what it is. People are saying that Elon Musk thought I was feeling you. That nigga Much. That's how Donald Trump is treating Elon at this point, child. But Elon Musk, they're saying that he initially lied and said the baby punched him in the face. Other people said that it was another grown man who punched him in the face. Child, I don't know who punched this man in the face, but I guess he was walking with
Allegedly, it was Stephen Miller.
Find it. Elon Musk. Black. Alright, because now I'm interested. I missed out on that one, child. Oh, shit. Okay. I guess he did have a black eye, child. Y'all go ahead and look at this. Let me pull it up real quick. He has a black eye. He looks a hot mess.
Lord,
After
ooh,
drug
Lord have mercy.
allegations, Elon arrived at his own goodbye party with a black eye with a bizarre excuse. This is insane. Let's click on this here. That's him. Damn. He must have gotten to a drug-fueled fight, child. It's always something with these folks. So anyways, black eyes aside. Somebody knocked his ass, child. Cold clocked him. That didn't come from no 4-year-old. That looks like a bar fight. Like he got high and was doing too much and somebody had to let him know about himself. So anyhow, so with all this going down, we're going to go to Elon Musk's Twitter. Because he's been going in for the past 3 hours. He's currently trending. Trump is trending. J.D. Vance is trending. It's a lot going on. So, let's see. He's been posting clips and stuff too. So we're just gonna go through his timeline. Let's see here. He's been retweeting a lot of people too. Yeah. Let's start about here.
Come on, come
For
on.
y'all who are just joining me, I'm not coming on camera because today was my
Tap,
little editing
tap the
day,
screen,
so I'm
tap
not
the screen,
on camera.
please.
So I'm just
Tap
doing
the
a
screen,
voiceover
tap the
live
screen.
stream.
Thank y'all for
This is
being
breaking
here.
news and this affects us all.
Thank y'all for being here.
Alright, so now let's see. Fix this real quick here. Alright. So here's just some of the stuff Elon was tweeting.
I just now figured out this app does not do horizontal on live streams. Crap. Oh well, you guys just gonna have to turn your phones to see me, I guess. Sorry about that.
And we're going to go over this, y'all. So here somebody says Elon Musk reminded President Trump of his own words. This was back in 2013. Let's start from the bottom. Donald says no member of Congress should be eligible for re-election if our country's budget is not balanced, deficit is not allowed. Elon says, couldn't agree more. Trump says no member of Congress should be eligible for re-election. Okay, that's the same thing. He also wrote 100. Then Donald Trump says, I cannot believe the Republicans are extending the debt ceiling. I am a Republican, I am embarrassed. Elon says, wise words. Then Elon says, where is the man who wrote these words? Was he replaced by a body double? Okay? Which is very interesting because he doesn't seem to care that Medicaid and, SNAP benefits may be cut off for people who really need it. I'm not talking about people who are gaming the system, but people, who may have disabilities, who are not able to work, children, who still need medical services. All of that is being cut. Job Corps, look at all the poor, minority, poor whites, poor blacks that have just been kicked out of Job Corps in less than 24 hours, right? So he's calling out Trump on, the so-called debt ceiling. Then somebody else posts this, increased spending. I have a plan to cut spending. Elon Musk laughs. Then he posted this old video. He says, this was me in 2021. Elon, get rid of all subsidies. We don't need a $7,500 EV tax credit. Honestly, I would just cancel the whole infrastructure. So let's play this real quick.
Saying get rid of all, we don't need the $7,500 tax credit. I would say, honestly, I would just cancel this whole bill. Don't pass it. That's my recommendation.
What about the support though for the charging network? I mean, there are parts of this bill.
Sorry.
No.
No. I mean, do we need support for gas stations? We don't. So there's no need for this for support for a charging network. Delete it. Delete.
Okay. All right.
I'm literally saying get rid of all subsidies, but also for oil and gas. We don't need the $7,500 tax credit.
All right, so that was him in 2021. Let's see here. Detecting defective.
Tap the screen, tap the screen. Thank you, thank you. Tap the screen, tap the screen.
Okay, Speaker Mike Johnson, the federal debt has toppled $31.4 trillion, and the Congressional Budget Office now estimates federal spending for the fiscal year 2023 will be $6.221 trillion, or more than 197,000 per second. This is not sustainable. Elon Musk retweets this and he says, where is the Mike Johnson of 2023? We could have said the same thing about you, Elon. You've changed a lot from being the bootleg 20 starts of Twitter to all the nonsense you were doing over the past few months. Then somebody else says this, Thomas Massey, the House has 72-hour rule, which requires the bill to be posted 72 hours before passage, but the Speaker circumvented the rule. Elon says not even those in Congress who had to vote on the big, ugly spending bill had time to read it. Well, we could have told you that about a lot of these bills. A lot of these executive orders are just being signed.
Very much could have.
Thorough thought as to who is being affected. Think about this, y'all. It was announced earlier today that the weatherman, I forgot the meteorologist, he's in Florida, a lot of people know him. He came out and said because of these budget cuts, they're not going to be able to predict hurricane season. So basically, Americans are on their own. I'll try and find that clip, but that's going viral today. They're not able to predict hurricanes because, again, these budget cuts just slicing people's jobs, thinking science is not real, it's a waste of money, and it's going to affect a lot of people. So then he posted this from the Hill. Senator John Thune, our nation is deeply, deeply in debt right now. Next year, our country will owe more than we produce for the first time since the end of World War II. That is a very bad place to be. Elon Musk says, where is John Thune of 2020? None of y'all are nowhere to be found because y'all sold y'all souls. That's where they're at. They're living high off the hook. Then he says, balance, budget, or bust. Then Speaker Mike Johnson, at some point Congress has to stop this endless cycle of out-of-control deficit spending. Elon Musk says, I agree with this guy. Okay? Right here, he says, I agree with this guy. And this was written in 2018. So do y'all see the hypocrisy? what all of these guys were saying back in 2018, 2020. But now that they're in these positions of power, all that just goes out the window. Then he goes on to post this, John Elchman, interest costs on the U.S. federal debt, 2024, 1.13 trillion, so on and so forth. Elon says Congress is spending America into bankruptcy, okay? Then he sends out a poll. Now, y'all know I've been following Elon forever and a day, right? So he sends out a poll and make sure to vote. Says who wins, Elon or Trump? I don't agree with this bill. It looks like a lot of people don't, so they voted for Elon on this poll. Then here, Donald Trump, he pulls out an old Donald Trump tweet from December 4th, 2021.
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen. Tap the screen, tap the screen.
An accomplished business leader, philanthropist, pilot, astronaut, as administrator of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, which stands for NASA. Jared will drive the NASA mission of discovery and inspiration, paving the way. Elon Musk replies and says this is what he said about Jared. Then he retweets this person. What Elon Musk is doing is genuinely heroic. He will win no friends in politics and will be ostracized by the current administration, but he is totally right. We, the entire Western world, simply cannot go on pretending our way out of life pretending our way of life is sustainable. Historically, countries, and then it says show more. I'm not even going to click on it, but he retweets that. Then Donald Trump writes on Truth Social, he says the following. Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandates that forced everyone to buy electric cars that no one else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy. Okay? So Elon retweets this and he says, such an obvious lie, so sad. Then he says, he retweets somebody else, or he replies to somebody. This person says this would both end the International Space Station and simultaneously provide no way to safely deorbit it.
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen. Tap the screen, tap the screen.
Then Elon says, mark this post for the future, the truth will come out. He then adds Donald Trump and he says, @real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. Time to drop the really big bomb. So this right here, this is the tweet that has Twitter right now in fucking shambles. Because he went there. He blasted him about the Epstein files. Remember, when he got into office, he was going to release the files along with the JFK files, the assassination of MLK. And they basically put out another redacted Epstein file. The same one that we've always had access to for the most part. And
pretty much.
Anything else out. And Elon Musk is saying that is because Donald Trump is in the Epstein files.
Of course.
So Elon is exposing a lot. And I guess he feels like he can because he's a billionaire too. And he has, you know, big guns and protection too. So he just spilled tea, honey. He really did. So then he goes on to post this, what Donald Trump is saying about him. So let's watch this really quick. I think it's from the same thing, but this, whatever he said in here is what really pissed Elon off.
First at a high level. And I think the people that a few people were lucky to have, I have to tell you, I want to thank you all. And Elon, I want to thank you. I know you've been through a lot with this horrible situation that happens. That's right, saving America. It's very unfair. What he is a patriot. And he's a man that I can tell you, he's a friend of mine. He's become a friend of mine. He supported me in the election. That's what I got to know. Really, I knew him a little bit from the first term, but not much. But he's a patriot more than anything else. He's never think of it.
Tap the screen, please. Tap the screen, tap the screen. Please and thank you very much.
And if it does change, I'll let you know about it. But Elon has never asked me for a thing. I mean, I got rid of the electric car mandate. I have no idea how that affects him, but possibly not good. I don't know. But he's never asked me for a thing. That's an amazing tribute. I did get activated last week when I saw what they're doing. I said, he makes an incredible product, and we're going to go out and tell people you can't do that stuff and support him. They got to support him, because if he wasn't doing this, he wouldn't have any.
So basically, Elon is clocking his tea in this video. Remember, he told, yeah, that's what narcissists do, right? He told the mainstream media that Elon wanted all of these EV subsidies, and Donald Trump told him no, and now he's
This here's about money, people.
But Elon is bringing receipts. They hate him or love him, he's bringing receipts, you know.
This whole fallout, ladies and gentlemen, is over money. The good old American dollar. And that is it. That is all.
We dwell on receipts here, and in this video, Trump is saying that Elon has never asked him for anything. But now, on the news, when he's being interviewed, he's saying that Elon asked for all this stuff. So basically, the Trump war room is even siding against him. Excuse me, he got this video from the Trump war room, and they're saying President Trump on Elon Musk, Elon has never asked me for a thing. I got rid of EV mandates, and he never asked me for a thing. I think that's an amazing attribute. Elon is a patriot. So Elon retweeted that with this confused face emoji, okay? Then he says this, because Elon wants all the smoke, honey. He then says, he posted this of a post that Donald Trump has on True Social, and it says, the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. So then Elon replies back and he says, in light of the president's statements about cancellation of my government contracts at SpaceX, we'll begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft immediately. So basically saying that he's moving around. He's going to go elsewhere with SpaceX. Then this person says the world's greatest fiction writers couldn't have conceived a timeline like this.
Hell
Elon laughs like a
ain't no way.
100. Okay, but there's more. He's still ranting. Then this person says President versus Elon, who will win? My money's on Elon. Trump should be impeached and JD Vance should replace him. Okay? So, yeah. This is insane. Elon agrees.
Beyond insane.
Then they're bringing out more stuff about Epstein files, okay? AG says the relationship between Trump and Epstein is well established. Trump flew on Epstein's plane only 7 times, though it's not clear if he ever went to the island. Here's what Trump said about Epstein in 2002 in a New York Profiler. Epstein likes to tell people that he's a loner, a man who's never touched alcohol or drugs, one whose nightlife is far from energetic. Yet if you talk to Donald Trump, a different Epstein emerges. I've known Jeff for 15 years, terrific guy. Trump booms from a speakerphone. He's a lot of fun to be with. It's even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side, no doubt about it. Jeffrey enjoys his social life. So Elon Musk retweets that with another side-eye emoji. So steadily spilling his tea. Then he posts this video. So we're going to watch this real quick.
Come on.
There's a story that I read about him that really affected me, which was when he was talking to Bill Gates, and Bill Gates had just taken out some huge short on Tesla, like $1 billion short or something, and and Elon was like, why would you do that? Why would you short Tesla? And Bill goes, well, I talked to my financial advisors and I looked at the math, and there's no way it's overvalued, and so I'm going to make money on the short. And Elon goes,
Tap the screen, please. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
What are you doing?
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Betting against, and he just walked away in disgust, and I think he never talked to Bill Gates after that. And that's when I realized, Elon's a purist, he means what he says. The money is a tool for him to get what he's trying to do. And so I take him at face value, which is the crazy thing. Because a lot of people will set these audacious goals to inspire people, but you kind of know they don't really mean it. Elon I take at face value. So I really do think he intends to get to Mars. I don't think he's joking about that. And I think he needs to get there within a defined window of time. And I don't think it's just like an inspirational faraway goal. I think he's very, very concretely going to do whatever it takes. Because Elon doesn't want to go down in history as the electric car guy, or even the guy who saved America guy. He wants to go down to the guy who got humanity to the stars. And everything, again, I'll give him more credit than that. I don't even think he wants to go down to the I got humanity to the stars guy. He's just like, I want to get to the stars. And so I have to make it happen in this lifetime. The only way that I get to experience the science fiction world in my head is if I get to the stars. And so that's so inspirational. I think that drives everything. So I think that...
All right, that's enough. So they're just talking about how, great inspirational Elon Musk is. Then Musk goes on to, now this is why I'm going live right now, just to let everybody know. Because he's spilling the tea that we've been talking about forever. I can finally say that Trump's tariffs are super stupid. Oh,
they
I
are.
Can say that because people who had common sense been saying this for months.
Hell, I've been saying it for months. Dumb
Trump's
bastard.
will cause a recession in the second half of this year.
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
I've been saying this forever.
Thank you.
These tariffs were not a good idea. China is not paying for these damn tariffs. It is the people here in the States that are paying for them. So I'm glad that Elon and others are finally waking up and admitting what people have been saying now ever since these stupid tariffs were being talked about. So then he ends up being even more messy. And somebody named Natalie posts a 1992 video where Donald Trump partied with Jeffrey Epstein and says, I'm going to leave that here, and Elon Musk reposts it.
Understand as they discuss the women.
So let's go ahead and watch this. Ooh, Elon is messy, honey.
The Mar-a-Lago party shows Trump giving Epstein his personal attention.
Yep, that's Trump.
1992.
And that is Epstein. But again, Trump was also a frequent go to the Diddy parties.
For an appearance on Faith Daniels' NBC talk show.
Great ratings in your show.
Trump is surrounded by women as music blares in the background. After a while, Trump goes to greet 3 new guests. Among them, the financier Jeffrey Epstein. More than a decade before his guilty plea on state prostitution charges. Later in the footage, Trump is seen talking to Epstein and another man as women are dancing in front of him.
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
And the other man and telling Epstein about the cameras. Though exactly what they say is difficult to understand as they discuss the women and their appearances. Trump gestures to one and appears to say to Epstein, look at her back there. She's hot. And then Trump says something else into Epstein's ear that makes him double over with laughter. But as the president said...
All right, child. So Elon posted that. Okay, so that was the last thing he's posted. Oh my gosh, it's been drama.
The Mar-a-Lago party shows...
Pause that. Now, they got Steve Bannon trending. Let me come back here. So it's a lot. They got Steve Bannon trending with Elon. South Africa is trending. I'm just on Twitter looking at some more stuff. Like, everybody is shook right now. But we're not shocked. We knew.
Yeah, not shocked.
Twitter is so funny. Let me show y'all this. Hold on, pull this up. Twitter is funny. This girl's the nastiest stick bitch I've ever met. Do not trust her. She's a ugly stud, Regina George. That is so funny. They're saying Elon right now. Somebody says, watching Trump and Elon fight, I hope both teams lose. Trump and Elon fighting during Pride Month. Like, Twitter's going crazy right now. Kanye West,
tap the screen, tap the screen.
Donald Trump feud. Bro, please no. We love you both so much. Shut your cooning self up. Shut up, Kanye. He's another one that needs to go sit the hell down. crazy. Let's see what the Steve Bannon hashtag is looking like. What he got to say. Steve Elon, because I know you don't like Elon. Okay, they're trying to pull up the disses he made towards Elon, calling him a phony and stuff like that. I thought it was going to be more, let's see what he's saying here. It looks like he's on the War Room, Alex Jones's platform. So let's see here real quick. Let's see what they're talking about.
Know anything. He's a know-it-all. He knows some engineering. Don't get me wrong. I give a hat tip for that, but he doesn't know anything about the real world. Doge was, and for any fanboys that still exist, when you're wrapping up in your cake tonight, understand on Doge, he didn't find any fraud. There's plenty of fraud out there. He didn't find. This is President Trump's first complaint.
Here's something I never understood. Why the hell did Doge even exist?
It's all BS, right? With the Doge. The action should be.
Well, my issue is this, right? Can I say this real
Tap the
quick?
screen, tap the screen.
Okay, so I don't want to hear all this Monday morning quarterbacking, because now they're saying, oh, he didn't find anything. You know, was this all BS? When this has been reported by so many independent people on social media forever, that yes, there is some wasteful spending, but the things that they're constituting as wasteful spending is bullshit. Y'all cutting forest rangers' jobs and meteorologists' jobs and, you know, just gutting so many intricate parts of the federal government. All of this was being stated months ago that this was not okay. And so now you have Steve Bannon trying to, I guess, quote unquote, speak for Trump and say, hey, you know, we don't think he found anything with Doge. Well, duh. We all can see that. And now they're admitting what people have been saying. They've been gaslighting the people like we're the crazy ones.
Yep, pretty much.
President Trump should be taken immediately, I think, when he threatens to take one of the big programs out of SpaceX. President Trump tonight should sign an executive order calling for the Defense Production Act to be called in SpaceX and seize SpaceX tonight before midnight. Know anything?
So that's Steve Bannon for you, but we all know Steve Bannon does not like Elon. That's not a, you know, that's not a secret. This is a mess. Somebody says in the last 2 hours, Elon says Trump is in the Epstein files. Elon says Trump should be impeached. Steve Bannon says Elon should be deported. It takes at least 6 months for the storylines to develop like this in a professional wrestling. Oh my gosh. Steve Bannon is now advising Donald Trump to launch an investigation into Elon Musk's drug use and to arrest and deport him from the country immediately. I am of strong belief that he's an illegal alien and should be deported from the country immediately. Well, that's because Steve Bannon himself also wants to be in Elon's position. He wants to be next to Trump. So, yeah, it's getting ugly on Twitter right now. It's getting crazy. So he's calling for a formal investigation. Let me see what they're saying about the South Africans, because South Africa is also trending. Here we go, South Africans. Let's see what's up with that. South African prayers are being answered fast.
Yep.
Let's see here.
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
Control the House and the Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate. Such ingratitude. Yeah. We all know that if it wasn't for Elon, most likely he wouldn't have won, because Elon
most likely
the financial backing. He thought he could use him like a puppet string to, you know, basically push what he wants to push to help his bottom line, and all of that now is crumbling. Let's see here. This person says Trump is going to ship all the white South Africans back. How quickly the tables turn. This is not a joke. We got a racist loser South African over here. Folks don't have no jobs, no aid, no research funding. What was all of this for? Exactly.
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
The videos of South Africans walking to empty clinics and public hospitals on TikTok make me so happy. No more long queens of entitlement people. So, yeah. Elon back on the screen. It is getting nuts out here. It's a lot going on with this whole Elon Musk situation and Donald Trump. Damn, we got over 7,000 viewers on here.
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the
I'm
screen.
going to go ahead and get up off of here. I just wanted to come live and share with you guys what was going on. Let me see if there's anything else breaking. I'm just trying to Google real quick. Let's see here. See here, is Trump, let's see if he's replied back to the Epstein stuff yet. Nope. Yeah, we're witnessing the breakup of a bromance. You know, it was all good just a week ago.
Damn, that sound gay. The word bromance sound gay as hell.
You can't make this shit up. You really can't. Now all of a sudden, Doge was no good. Doge didn't find anything. Well, are all those people that were fired, would they be given back their jobs or not? I'm asking for people that I know were fired. It's a shame. So let me read some of these super chats. Let's see. Jamaican Queen Lifestyle says we love when the tea is piping hot. Thank you so much, sis. Appreciate you. That Virgo 23 says the way I ran to use the bathroom while at work just to watch this. Y'all are a mess, but thank you for tuning in. Let's see here. Shy Meeson, $20 says, wasn't worried about the money when he was getting all those government contracts. Exactly. Exactly. You know, these are people, they have no loyalty to each other. They're both narcissists and they were both using each other. And now that they can't use each other and they don't see a benefit from the relationship, they're moving on. And that's really what it's about. Let's see here. Michelle sent a $5 super sticker laughing. Thank you so much for the super chat. Rosemarin 1421 says, Trump, I miss the way you used to blow my back out, Vladimir. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. I am Mike Nice sent $49.99. Thank you so much, brother, for the super chat. I appreciate you. I'll see you guys. We're gonna do a Zoom meeting probably in like an hour or two. I gotta finish uploading this DVD video, but we will do a Zoom meeting today. So Mike, I will see you in the Zoom meeting. Thank you for the super chat. Wavy Taste sent $49.99. He says, hey aunties, your favorite soldier checking in. Conservatives didn't really rock with Elon to begin with. Also, if you remember the history of Mark Antony and Octavian, two powerful figures fought over the Roman Republic, where Antony fled to Egypt. Read y'all. Well, you know, again, I feel like even if they didn't rock with him, they were still co-signing him. And that's why I thought it was very hypocritical, especially when it came out that he had another side baby. And I'm like, you know, the party of conservative men, women, need to be married, having children within wedlock strikes again.
Yep.
A lot of these people are hypocrites.
Yep. In both parties.
As long as he's supporting, you know, the person that they want in office. They were willing to look past his ketamine use, his multiple baby mamas. They're willing to look past all of that because it served them in the end.
Sure,
thank you so much for the super chat, and I hope you're doing good, Wavy. Let's see here. Adrian Jones and $5 says Eli. I think he meant Elon. Elon got inside the White House, got access to every bit of data, pictures, records from birth to present. Trump in on it. It's about the money. Yeah.
Yep, I mean, straight up. It's about the money. Straight up.
Going through people's files.
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
And now we're supposed to just look the other way and say, oh, they're fighting, you know, we're Team Elon. No. You did a lot of messed up stuff that got a lot of people's jobs taken from them. People were fired for no reason. So absolutely not. The 28 Who said 1999 says the streets say Stephen Miller is the one who punched Elon for having relations with his wife.
That's what I've heard.
I'm gonna have to look into that. Thank you for the tea. I knew one no 4-year-old who did that punch. 4-year-olds, yeah, they might fight, they might swing back, but they're not leaving black eyes and bruises. Their punches are not that powerful. That was a grown man punch, so it makes perfect sense. Thank you. Let's see here. Adrian Jones sent another 5, says, just like I said, when you send up rockets up there, it's like when we send money in the drive-thru at the bank, you send it to spaceships. Elon is an alien. Thank you for the super chat. JP sent $4.99 says, now that baby daddy Elon has lost a lot of money backing felon Trump, all of a sudden he wants to condemn Trump. FAFO, the girls are fighting. Exactly. That's really what it boils down to. Because again, this was the same man a few months ago who was on stage with the chainsaw, acting like he was, the Chainsaw Massacre. He was loving the attention. He was loving the fame.
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
Once people started burning Tesla stations and, vandalizing Teslas, and his Tesla stock just dropped dramatically. Once his bottom line was being affected with his association to the administration that was affecting people's jobs, that's when all of a sudden he saw the light. Let's keep it real. That's when he saw the light. So thank you so much for the super chat. Let's see here. Khadijah says, hey T, couldn't wait for your commentary on this. Love you. Have a great day. Thanks for everything you do for us. You are so welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in, sis. Anastasia sent $5 says, love you T. I love you too. Van Banner sent $4.99 says, imagine the humiliation ritual he has to do to maintain the status as the richest man in the world, like getting beat up behind closed doors. Clap that T. I'm over here clapping with you.
Yep.
Yeah, something's going on, and I think it's deeper than just potentially having relations with somebody's wife. Because all these folks get down with the get down behind the scenes. We see all that information coming out now with P. Diddy and his little freaky parties, his freak offs. So I wouldn't be shocked at all. Let's see here. Shynix and 5 says, remember the government literally rickrolled people asking about the Epstein files? Where are they? Exactly. Keith says Elon and Trump are pretty much the same person.
They are.
Thank you for the super chat. Giselle says T, when badly billed Marjorie says it's a bad bill, that's saying everything.
Yep.
Exactly. This bill is not to help the average man and woman. This is about budget cuts that are going to help the richest Americans. They don't want their money
just bridge for the rich.
Medicaid and Job Corps and things for the poor. They want the poor to have cake. They don't want y'all to have money. They don't want the poor. They don't want the unfortunate. They don't want the middle class to have an opportunity to get anywhere where they're at. So there's nothing beautiful about this bill. So I definitely agree. Let's see here. Forever Your Leo, hey sis. She sent $19.99, says, hey T, Elon is just trying not to go down with the ship that he helped pay for and steer. He went in to get rid of all those government jobs, to get rid of all those in government, who were investigating who were investigating him and his company.
Tap the screen, tap the screen.
It's his damn sauce.
Tap the screen, tap the
definitely
screen.
agree. He got in there, he took advantage, he definitely benefited. Remember him and the guy, I did a whole breakdown. Put in teacup if y'all remember my breakdown that I did a few months ago about him and the guy who was investigating him every time he would send a spaceship into space. Because what goes up must come down. And it was the guy from the FAA, Mike somebody from the FAA. Let me see if I can find it. Versus Elon. Remember, they were beefing because he was finding Elon Musk for all these unauthorized, ventures in space. Okay, Mike Whitaker, the FAA, Mike Whitaker versus Elon Musk, refers to a public dispute between them. And basically, Mike Whitaker, who was a former FAA administration person, he left. But he was finding him. He was calling him out. Because remember, Elon Musk's rocket ships almost caused planes to crash because he was just throwing shit into the atmosphere and not letting them know. And you have airplanes that that are commercial flights and stuff like that being affected. And then when the spaceships would blow up, all that debris was landing in the ocean. Could have potentially landed on people's property. So
yeah.
And the first thing he did is when he got into quote-unquote office, he got rid of them. He got rid of that department. He didn't want any oversight. He didn't want anybody to hold him responsible for these space launches. So you are so right, sis. Thank you so much for the super chat. Let's see here. African Gamer sent $9.99. Says, The beef is staged, people to keep people distracted right before Bitcoin takes off. This beef happened homes after Trump social files for Bitcoin. Thank you so much for the super chat. I don't know if this is so much of a distraction because we can call anything a distraction. Hell, BG filing a restraining order against Holly Bailey, that's a distraction. The baddies is a distraction. You know, basketball, Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp, all of that is distractions, right? So we have that. But when it comes to political stuff, we still need to understand what is going on, because every time they get into it, every time they say something, every time they decide to make some type of decision, guess what? It affects all of us. So even though we may be distracted from something bigger, we still need to pay attention to what's going on. To me, him bringing up the Jeffrey Epstein's situation, that, I mean, I get it, but I could care less. What we gonna do? Dig up Jeffrey and put him in trial? No. But what's really affecting people is this big, beautiful bill. I want to know what's going to happen with that. But thank you so much for the super chat. Audie Linson 499 says Elon and Trump are just putting on a show. They aren't into it. They need to pull the heat off their union. Trump trashes who goes against him. Yeah. Again, it could definitely be a distraction. Like
I'm just going to end it right here. Thank y'all for showing up. Enjoy your evening.
People are now waking up and seeing more. I'm glad.